AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Good morning to you, and thanks so much for being with us. Our visit with the folks from Alice Paul House, presented by Marcus and Mack, voted Best Law Firm and Best Personal Injury Lawyer 4 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. Audia Boyles with us, Whitney Carmichael, too. Good morning to both of you for joining us here in the studio. Whitney, is that microphone up? It's not up over there. I'm sorry. Let's pull that up just for you. You can even put it at whatever height you wish. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is good to have you both in the studio with us. Of course, Alice Paul House. We just saw a group of Eisenhower Elementary School students walking by. There were about 100 or so of them on their way up to the fire station for a tour. Every darn one of them was smiling.
It is that time of year, Todd. I mean, look at this weather. It might be crisp out, but it is gorgeous.
Yeah, and to see smiling faces, that's the kind of a smile that you should see on a kid these days, is a smile. And sometimes it's not possible to get a kid to smile because they've got a pretty bad family situation going on. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
It is. We were with the commissioners yesterday, and they signed our proclamation making October Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Indiana County. And we are always very honored that they allow us to have this month each year. So annually we meet with them, and a proclamation is read, and it's signed off and voted in. Mm-hmm. So this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Indiana County, and Alice Paul House is following the national and state theme of everyone knows someone. And as you said, our children are so important to us in this community, and it is very important for our community to recognize that domestic violence does exist and that we do have victims in our county, and that Alice Paul House works very hard to move them from the victim stage into the survivor stage with our trauma-informed advocacy. So we do have a few things that are happening in October with our organization for the community to know. October 16th is Purple Day. So if community members could wear purple and then take a picture and tag our Facebook, social media, we would appreciate that to recognize our survivors.
That's a week from today.
It is. Yeah. We're very excited. And we will also, in line with that, on October 17th, be handing out donuts for DVAM, which is the acronym for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We will be going around to our partners in the community, as we have done for quite a few years now, and delivering donuts for them. And also, if you check our social media, we have our 30 days of DVAM. And so each day there's a new post recognizing either a statistic or a theme regarding domestic violence, and moving through those types of trauma and victimization into survivorhood. So we're very excited with this month.
Yeah, absolutely. And statistics are wonderful to help us sort of frame something. But domestic violence, Whitney, you know this too, it's a personal thing. And it's about the person who is affected by it more than it is numbers. And so that's really where the focus has to be, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think statistics are important. We share that month with breast cancer awareness. It's always prevalent, but domestic violence is seen throughout our county on an everyday basis. Even the statistics show that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 5 men will be affected by domestic violence at some form in their life, which I just think is crazy to even think about. Growing up in this small community, now as an adult, when I was in high school, I never would have thought that this was such a prevalent thing in our community until I began working in the movement.
Yeah. When you see a group of children, as we just did, walking by the radio station, and to realize that they're statistically is a very good percentage that some of those kids are suffering from domestic violence. And domestic violence has a pretty wide definition, doesn't it, Audia?
It does, Todd. Most people think of domestic violence through the old terminology of battering or physical violence, but domestic violence really occurs in intimate partner relationships, and it can be physical, mental, emotional, and financial. It happens with all levels of age within our community, whether you're a young adult or the elderly. And with that, we see the repercussions with our children, because although they may not have physical violence against them, they watch these types of behaviors, the cycle of abuse, which moves from a honeymoon stage into an aggressive stage, an apology stage, and then moving back into a honeymoon stage. And when I say honeymoon, what I mean by that is the makeup stage, life is wonderful, we won't have this happen again, and the cycle continues. So kids grow up in those environments, and it's very difficult for them to unlearn those behaviors. And that's where the real concern and trauma occurs, because at Alice Paul House, we provide educational programs throughout the county at every Indiana school, and we work towards prevention and awareness so that maybe we can stop this cycle early on, and that our children grow into well-rounded, healthy, emotionally stable adults where the cycle doesn't continue. So everybody needs to understand that, for a victim, statistically, again, it takes about 7 times for a victim to leave that type of environment.
Wow.
And so we hear a lot of times, like, why didn't you just leave? Imagine leaving your whole life and the life that you've built, your home, your finances, your support systems, and having to, step out and acknowledge that that environment was not healthy and start anew without any support systems. And that's where Alice Paul House comes in and, again, tries to help these individuals find that stabilization, understand the cycle of returning home and the stresses that are on those individuals. So again, we want the community to understand that, Alice Paul House works daily with victims of domestic violence. We process and assist with probably 2 to 3 protection from abuse orders a day. And that is, one of the most, it is a very strong system that allows our survivors to have protections. And if these protection orders are violated, then it can turn into criminal issues for the offender. So, we really work hard daily, and, my small team of advocates multitask on a daily basis, not only working with protection from abuse orders, but also with trauma-informed counseling. We do that within our facility as well as throughout the community. We go to schools and deal with children through the guidance offices, and different entities and partnerships in our community that help these individuals move forward in a positive manner.
Yeah, it becomes a not only a generational thing, but a multi-generational thing if that chain is not broken, doesn't it?
It does, and we have seen that. At times, we've seen individuals who were residing as children within our residential facility, our shelter, and now as adults with their own children, they come back and they don't want to have the same life that they had with their children, and they want skills and information on how to break the cycle and support to move forward. So we do see that very often.
Yeah, yeah. Whitney, when we think about domestic violence and we think about the number of children who are affected, it's distressing, but it's also good to know that Alice Paul House and other organizations here in Indiana County are there to meet whatever the need is. And getting the contact with those people is extremely important with those who are suffering from domestic violence.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only is our direct service department servicing those children in the community, but our education department goes to all the school districts to try to prevent it, right? The goal of our work is really to have the early access to these children to learn simple coping skills and boundaries so that as they grow up into adolescent and adulthood, maybe we're stopping the cycle and maybe we're kind of pushing our way out of a job, I think is the ultimate hope there.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad thing to
Yeah.
do. So we always want to make people aware that Alice Paul House is there for them and can help them in any situation. So Audia, for folks who want to know what does Alice Paul have to offer to me, what should they do? Where do they learn this information?
Well, one, I encourage everybody to get on our website. It's www.alicepaulhouse.org. Alice Paul House is all one word. And to peruse our website and all of the different categories that illustrate all of the work we do. Because as I've said before, Todd, there is a misnomer that we only work with victims of domestic violence, and our services are available to all Title 18 crimes, which are things such as homicide, arson, kidnapping, child sexual assault, domestic violence, aggravated assault, simple assault. On our website, it also shows all of our evidence-based and research-supported programming that we do within the schools and within our counseling department, a little bit about our residential program. But most importantly is that we are a 24/7 operation, 365 days a year. So I have a trained advocate always available on our crisis hotline to answer questions, to do crisis intervention, to provide referral sources, and also to welcome individuals to come into our facility and be provided our trauma-informed advocacy and empowerment. With that, you will be able to see the different types of spaces that we, live in over there, and the attention that our advocates give to individuals. So the first thing I say is look at the website, follow us on social media, Facebook especially, and then feel free to call our hotline, and locally the number is 724-349-4444, and you will have a trained advocate available to speak with every day of the week at any hour of the day and night. We also have a team of our advocates who work daytime, and they're available to respond after hours to law enforcement requests, IRMC requests, and to be able to support in person anybody that has experienced domestic violence after hours.
Alice Paul House is a great resource for Indiana County, and one that you need to be very well acquainted with, and that's how you do it. Audia Boyles, Whitney Carmichael, thank you so much for the visit today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. We always enjoy being with you.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. We're just about, 2 minutes and a half away from the top of the hour. Fox News comes your way then. And then a brief look at news from the WCCS newsroom with Josh, and the Brian Kilmeade Show is right after that. Penguins hockey tonight on 92.5 FM U92. The airtime 6 o'clock. The Penguins and the Islanders, the home opener in the celebration of the Big Three.